Good evening, everyone. I will now call the June 17th, 2025 Asset Management Committee meeting to order at 5 o'clock or 5:01 p.m. We'll be moving on to the Pledge of Allegiance. I will now lead the Pledge of Allegiance. Can everyone please stand, face the flag, put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. Thank you. Ms. Zambrano, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Latanya Green,
Present.
Ms. Doris Stewart, Ms. Cheryl Matthews,
Present.
Mr. William Perez, Mr. John Hughes,
Present.
Ms. Debbie Tate,
Present.
Ms. Gladys Fuentes, Mr. Neil Jordan,
Present.
Dr. James Morris,
Present.
Mr. Rafael Guzman, and Ms. Serena Brahamian.
Present.
Thank you. For the record, Mr. Perez arrived at 5:04 p.m. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Perez. Okay, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of our committee members and express my gratitude for your presence today. Your dedication to the district and the community through your participation in the Asset Management Committee is truly valued and appreciated. My name is Cheryl Matthews, and I am honored to serve as the chair of the Asset Management Committee. It is now my pleasure to introduce our County Administrator, Dr. James Morris. Dr. Morris will share his welcome remarks and provide us with an overview of the current priorities and initiatives. Please join me in welcoming Dr. James Morris.
Thank you so much, Chair Matthews. I just want to begin, as always, by thanking the members of this committee. I did want to apologize for having to reschedule the meeting and explain the reason we rescheduled so soon. We had spent a lot of time discussing the item on the agenda and the item of the public hearing this evening. And at our last meeting, we weren't going to have a quorum available, and so we had to reschedule. I appreciate your being so flexible and accommodating. We were just afraid if we waited too long, folks wouldn't remember, and we were dealing with some really technical changes to the item before us this evening. So once again, I want to thank you for your flexibility. I want to thank you for your presence and for making this happen, especially during this summer when so many folks are on vacation and doing other things. It's a busy, busy time of year. Back to you, Chair Matthews.
Thank you. We're moving on to item 5, which is approval of the minutes of May 15th, 2025. May I please get a motion to approve the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes.
Thank you. And may I please get a second to the motion to approve the minutes?
I second.
Thank you. Ms. Zambrano, will you please call the roll to get a motion to approve the minutes?
Ms. Latanya Green,
Yes.
Ms. Doris Stewart, Ms. Cheryl,
Present. Yes.
Mr. William Perez,
Yes.
Mr. John Hughes,
Yes.
Ms. Debbie Tate,
Yes.
Ms. Gladys Fuentes, Mr. Neil Jordan.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. The minutes have been approved.
Thank you, Ms. Zambrano. We're moving on now to public hearing, item number 6 on the advisory committee's recommendation report for former Inglewood Adult School. We will now hold a public hearing related to the advisory committee's recommendation report concerning the former Inglewood Adult School, as required by Education Code Section 17390. At this time, members of the community who wish to address the county administrator and the committee members may speak on any item listed in the public hearing section. Each speaker will be allowed up to 3 minutes to provide comments. The public hearing is open at 5:06 p.m. Excuse me, Ms. Zambrano, do we have any public comments for the hearing portion of the agenda?
No, we do not.
Thank you, Ms. Zambrano. Having concluded public comments, we are now closing the public hearing at 5:06 p.m. Moving on to item number 7, we will now have a discussion regarding Advisory Committee's recommendation report for former Inglewood Adult School.
I'd like to provide just a little bit of background for the community's benefit and also just to remind the committee of some of the steps that were taken to get to this point. Over the last number of meetings, the committee has done a robust review of a draft recommendation report and spent quite a bit of time developing the recommendations that are listed on, I just want to make sure I'm getting the page number right, page 7 of the report that's under consideration tonight. The goal of tonight's meeting was to receive public input during a public hearing session on those recommendations, so then the committee can continue their discussion and finalization of that report. If further revisions are to be considered or made, that's a discussion topic for tonight. And then the committee has the option, as listed on the agenda, to potentially take a vote on approving the recommendation report. Thank you.
Discussion that folks want to have on the. Any of the committee members wanted to make comment or provide further discussion on the content of the Asset Management Committee report on the Inglewood former adult education building site. I know we've discussed this for about a lot of meetings, but I guess the question from the committee is, any further discussion? Is it now in a form that folks feel we're ready to move forward and take a vote on? I just had one comment. I guess it would be on page 4, meeting 18 listed at the top. Would that date be changed to today's date in the final report?
Correct. So this draft was prepared before that
Yep.
that change occurred. So anything you see like that, more of a cleanup item or items that have to be finalized that are maybe highlighted in yellow, those will be completed, and then of course the report will be circulated in final to the committee members.
Can I just make sure that the community at large and those that are online understand the fiscal considerations? May I just read that paragraph? Is that all right? Mm-hmm. The fiscal considerations is item number 3. And this is so you can understand that the former adult school property carries an outstanding loan with U.S. Bank totaling $975,000, carrying an interest rate of 5%. Annual debt service payments amount to $127,500 paid semi-annually each year on September 1st and March 1st. Payments are funded through the Adult Education Block Grant, constituting approximately 6% of the annual adult education funding. Given the property's current state and required structural repairs, preliminary estimates indicate renovation costs may total approximately $7 million. Decisions regarding the property's future use or disposition require careful weighing of these immediate costs against potential long-term financial and community benefits. And I just wanted to read that so that the community would understand that we owe almost $1 million on this property, and that renovation costs are skyrocketed up towards $7 million. So I just wanted to make sure that that was thoroughly understood by the community. Do we have any other comments, or we just want to take another moment or so just to go over? Okay.
I just had one question. Would any of the, profit from the property go back into the adult school program? Whether it's leased or buy or whatever is decided?
So that's a question we'll have to rely on Serene to respond to.
And I'm glad you added the lease part to the question, because I
I'm
think,
just saying however the income
yeah,
from the property would be, whatever decision is made, would any of it go back into the adult school program? And I just say that because I managed the block grant. I was just wondering, over the years, we've put so much money into that building.
so I think you all recall some of the discussion that we've had pretty, in some detail, over the last number of meetings, is the use of funds and the use of proceeds from a disposition process. And so I was glad you said lease, because with lease revenue, the district and the county administrator would have more flexibility as to how to utilize those funds. With the sale of property and proceeds from sale, it's more restricted and goes into what we've been calling or referring to as a facilities fund, to be utilized for facilities upgrades. Also important, but just to note that there is a lot less flexibility with how you utilize proceeds from a sale versus lease.
That's a great question.
Another question, when we vote on the recommendations, are we doing each one separately or all in one?
So typically, it's that you would consider approving the recommendation report that incorporates the recommendations on the last page or in the last section. So what's on the agenda is, for your consideration, is approval of the recommendation report as a whole.
Okay, so all of them.
Yeah, I'm okay with the recommendations. As the committee knows, I'm kind of a stickler about certain things, and that is that about discussion of the loan, financial consideration, section 3, just put in the maturity of the loan, because I don't want it to be maturing next year, just whenever it is, because that's important. Oh, we don't. I mean, whatever it is, just put it in. I don't know. But I think if you look at the whole picture and you say, when's the loan mature? Is it mature in these 6 months or mature? So anyway, that's the only thing I have. Just, just when we're gonna have to, when the loan matures, because.
So, Mr. Jordan, are you asking that we add that to our recommendations?
Yeah, it was section 3.
Okay, so that to section 3 specifically? Okay, so that in the,
Sorry, I'm okay with the recommendations.
okay, so under fiscal considerations, you're asking that we add when this loan matures, the maturity date.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
We can get it.
And so just procedurally, to still consider the report for tonight. I think you all have been through this a few times now, but just to make sure everybody's on the same page, it would be a motion, we would need a motion to approve it, subject to the revisions that are being proposed by Mr. Jordan.
Okay.
And then, of course, you would seek approval of it with that addition.
And Mr. Jordan, we appreciate you being a stickler about those things. You help keep, you know, some of those things that skip by us, you know, on point.
Correct.
Mr. Jordan is our person of expertise on the agenda.
With the exception of Mr. Jordan's comment, was there any other comment, concerns, or conversation to be had before we go ahead and take a vote on these items? Okay, with the exception of the consideration from Mr. Jordan regarding the interest rate to fiscal considerations, item number 3, we are going to go ahead and seek approval of the committee, advisory committee recommendations to the board, and we'll go ahead and declare that in its entirety, correct? And we go ahead and take a vote on it?
Correct, but I just want to clarify, so what you were looking to include is the loan maturation date, right? In the fiscal considerations, okay, so that's what we're adding. Yes.
Yes, so we're good?
Yes.
All right, we'll ask Ms. Zambrano to go ahead and take a vote for us. Oh, I apologize. We'd like to make a motion that we get approval for the advisory committee minutes and recommendations to the board at this time.
With the addition of the maturity date of the loan under the fiscal consideration section.
Yes.
I move.
So moved, may we get a second?
I second it.
Got a second on the vote? Ms. Zambrano, will you call the roll?
Ms. Latanya Green,
Yes.
Ms. Dara Stewart, Ms. Cheryl Matthews,
Yes.
Mr. William Perez,
Yes.
Mr. John Hughes,
Yes.
Ms. Debbie Tate,
Yes.
Ms. Gladys Fuentes, Mr. Neil Jordan.
Yes.
Thank you, the item has been approved.
That's awesome. Okay, moving on to item number 9, that is public comments on agenda items. This portion of the agenda provides an opportunity for members of the public to directly address the committee members on agenda and non-agenda items. A public comment card must be completed and submitted before the beginning of the public comment period. Members of the public who wish to speak about an item on the posted agenda must indicate the item number on the public comment card. 3 minutes will be allotted to each speaker and a maximum of 30 minutes for public comments on agenda items and 30 minutes on non-agenda items. If the public comment cards exceed 10 cards per section, the time may be reduced to allow from 3 minutes to either 2 minutes or 1 minute per person to hear from more speakers. The guidelines for public comments will be in accordance with Board Bylaw 9323. I just want to remind the public that the Brown Act does not allow committee members to respond to any public comments. Ms. Zambrano, do we have any public comments on agenda and non-agenda items?
Yes, we do, Ms. Matthews. We have one public comment on non-agenda items. Public comments from Mr. John Martin. Mr. Martin, please come to the podium to address your public comments on non-agenda items. You have 3 minutes. You may begin.
Okay, my name is John Martin. We're all familiar with Florence Avenue. I was born in Florence in Vermont. And I know that that's exactly 4 miles from Inglewood because the sign above me when I was selling my newspapers on the corner said Inglewood, 4 miles. And I spent many joyous hours at Septinella Park, which is now something else park, but it's still the same. So Inglewood has been a big part of my life. And I hoped when I got bigger that I might live in Inglewood someday. But anyway, I had no idea I'd end up down here this way. I am the co-founder of Grace Hopper STEM Academy in Inglewood. It's 12 years old. And I found out about all the new things that are transpiring here, and of course all the difficult things you have to deal with. And I'm excited about the future for all your district school, high school students. And we started our school, middle school. Okay, we started middle school because we felt at that time that high school was too late to start kids in STEM, too difficult. So we started middle school, and that's proved to be the fact. Now, of course, we've been very successful, and we'd like to possibly start kids younger, like K to 8 instead of just 6 to 8. And I know that 2 of your, or 3 of your schools are being closed. So I'd like to throw our name in the hat, if you will, to be considered for at least one of those schools. My goal would be to keep as many local kids and maybe kids from outside we'll find some way from outside the district in Inglewood attending all your schools. The new school you're going to build is going to be state-of-the-art, beautiful, and the talk of the town and the talk of South Bay. You have a very successful basketball coach. We all love sports. And I absolutely know him, Jason Crow. And a new coach, football, who I've been watching in the newspaper, but I'd never met the man. But perhaps maybe the most successful football coach in South Bay for the last few years. All these things are pluses. I met with the principal of City Honors. Several of our kids have gone to City Honors. I think half a dozen of them are going this year. And our student, valedictorian, is going to the new, is it called what's the new technical academy? IO, I think IOC. Is that the name of the new one, the new technical school? But our valedictorian has been accepted in that program, so I'm excited about that. And then in our recent culmination, one of our students from class of 22 came back to give a speech, and she just graduated from Inglewood High School, and she's on her way to Jackson State University. And anyway, Grace Hopper, please keep our name in there, and when the time comes up on your busy agenda to consider the possibility of leasing one of these properties, we'd love to talk further on it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That concludes our public comments for tonight.
All right, with that, we'll move to item number 10, which is comments from the committee. Committee members, do you have any questions or comments regarding tonight's agenda?
If I could just add, it's 2035 is the maturity date on that loan. And so so yeah, another 10 years.
Okay, so that item will be added to that, the fiscal consideration section, number 3. If there's no more comments, no more concerns, no more anything else going on, we will move on. Our next scheduled meeting is Tuesday, August 26th. Tuesday, August 26th. They're going to be moving our meetings from Thursday to Tuesday, so make that adjustment. I almost lost it this week. And with nothing else, no other comments or concerns, we'll be moving on to adjournment. The meeting will stand adjourned.
I have a comment, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Just a
oh,
bright
no
one,
worries,
just a
no
small one.
worries.
Just two little ones, it's positive, it's not negative. Just for the public, there's some foresight in everything that's going on here, even though the perception is that it's about a sale and what have you, but the political environment for what it is, doesn't matter what side you're on. It's good that this district has actually looking forward and moving on before any of these budget cuts come down. And it's exciting that even with all the chaos that's going on, I drove by and saw some of what's going on in the new school that's going to take over for Kelso, or whatever the transition or however it's said. I wanted to say two things to the people of Kelso, or the teachers and the people that were there. I wanted to thank them for everything that they do and everything that they have done. There's these two particular parents that every day they're at the front, even when they're closing, they're there. Kids are crossing the street, or they're just being dropped off right in the middle of the street. And they just literally leave them there. And if it wouldn't be for these parents, we'd probably have more accidents there. And there's these two ladies that work very, very hard. And I don't know that they've ever been recognized or been told of what they do. One of the ladies' names is Daniela Briceño. Another lady is Shayla Woodard. And these ladies, if it's Thanksgiving, if it's any holiday whatsoever, there is no PTA at that school, and they raise their own money, and they end up doing a lot of things for these kids. So that's a big thing. And I think that all of us here should be proud to be part of this particular committee. It is looking forward, and it is what's best for Inglewood. At the end of the day, that's what it is. I just want to keep that going, and I'll stop, but we'll end. But it is a positive thing, and most important is this: we know what's happened before. That's why we're here. That's why we're fixing it. So if there's solutions, we're more than welcome to hear them, but this is the best way forward. So thank you, and sorry to delay a little bit longer.
Absolutely fine, Mr. Pettis. Thank you for those comments and for the recognition for the two ladies at Kelso that have helped to keep those students, which are our babies, to keep them safe. It is a big thing, and going forward, we pray that we can continue to keep our children safe, provide an environment for them to be nurtured and to grow, to continue to learn and excel, and continue to be a representation of the trajectory that Inglewood is on as far as our scholastic abilities. We see what's happening as far as sports. We know all the things that are coming to town, all the other stuff. But when we look at why we're here, we are here for the children, and we're here for the teachers and the staff, and to make sure that we do consider all of those things with the decisions and choices that are going forth. So I appreciate each and every one of you. If you don't mind, we'll move on to adjournment. The meeting, if no one has anything else, can stand adjourned at 5:30. And may I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
May I get a second?
I second.
Everybody have a great summer.
Roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead. We have roll call.
Ms. Latanya Green,
Yes.
Ms. Dara Stewart, Ms. Cheryl Matthews,
Yes.
Mr. William Perez,
Yes.
Mr. John Hughes,
Yes.
Ms. Debbie Tate,
Yes.
Ms. Gladys Fuentes, and Mr. Neil Jordan.
Yes.
With that, we stand adjourned. Thank everybody for your service, and have a great summer. We'll see you in August.
Okay.